The kicker, a public policy that no other state has been reckless enough to implement but Oregon, has a long record of failure. The kicker undermines Oregon's stability while handing out big bonuses to the rich. It's time for Oregon to reform the kicker. The kicker is a provision in the Oregon Constitution that triggers an automatic tax cut just because state economists made a forecasting error 2 years earlier. When tax revenue comes in 2% or more above the forecast, all of the unanticipated revenue is sent back to taxpayers, not just the amount over the 2% error threshold. So the kicker is premised on state economists looking into their crystal ball and accurately predicting changes in the global, national, and state economies 2 years out, and then correctly connecting that to the amount of revenue that millions of Oregonians will contribute. That's an exceedingly difficult task. Over the past 18 budget periods, the kicker has been triggered 12 times. The craziest thing of all is that the kicker has kicked in each of the last 4 recessions, at the worst possible times. In December 2007, Oregon was kicking back to taxpayers $1.1 billion, just as Oregon and the nation were plunging into the Great Recession. The economy collapsed and state revenues dried up. This caused a big budget shortfall. So lacking resources, Oregon laid off teachers, cut services to vulnerable seniors, services to foster children. Oregon cut services that all Oregonians depend on. So the kicker makes it harder for Oregon to save during the good economic times and be prepared for the inevitable bad times. It makes the system less stable. And if that weren't bad enough, the kicker triggers a tax cut that mainly benefits the most well-off Oregonians. In May 2019, we learned that we're on course for a record-breaking kicker worth $1.4 billion. 2/3 of the kicker will go to the richest 20% of Oregonians. The typical Oregonian will get a kicker worth about $340. Meanwhile, the average member of the richest 1% will get a kicker worth about $14,000. A public policy that hands out big bonuses to the rich while making Oregon more vulnerable during economic crises is not in the best interest of Oregonians. It's time for Oregon to reform the kicker.